But it is like, you can probably think of a case that we have a string and we want to use it as the index to get a corresponding value, right? Like, for example, if you have a list of names, you have the name of a person, so you can use the name of the person as the index to get all its record of information, right? Right. But can you think of a case that you have the opposite? So if we have a list to string map, so I wanted the opposite of that. So string. First of all, it's not going to allow me, but I'm going to try it anyways, so that you would see the error message, and when you face it, you will recognize it if it happened to you. So obviously the error message would say what? What do we expect the error message to say? Yeah, it's unhashable. Okay, list is unhashable, but we can fix this problem, right? So technically we can get around this error by doing what? Yeah, we can turn the list into tuple. Okay, so we can turn the list into a tuple, and that should be okay because the tuple is hashable. But what would be a situation in which you would like to use a list as the searching index? So I have a list. So list to str map, and then does this seem natural? Now I'm gonna use the tuple that is 1, 3, 5, and it would give me a string or anything that I associate as a value. Does that seem natural? Yeah, what could be a situation in which you need that? Yes.
The way we think about it, like if we have a building and floors, and we want to have people specific floors, so one give us everyone who lives in the first floor, two everyone who lives in the second.
Yeah, so it is used for reducing the time complexity of algorithms. So if you can split any searching algorithm into two steps, one step is to create a list and put it in a hash table or a hash map or a dictionary. And then the next step is to use this list to search something associated to it. Okay, so that's like if you have something that you need to go through in a nested loop. So a nested loop is O(n) squared, right? So let's say you want to find. Okay, I have some example like from the lead code. Like if you have a search problem that you can find in O(n) squared, okay, in a nested loop. So if you can split them into two subsequent loops, that would be O(n), right? Instead of nested loops, you can split them into two subsequent loops. So that would be n plus 1, n, which is O(n), right? Now, how can you split a nested loop into two subsequent loops? How would that be possible? So you can build a part of, like you find some part of the search in the first loop and put it in a dictionary or in a hash table. And then the second loop would build on what you already found in that dictionary. Okay. Now, once you start playing with the examples there on the website, you will understand what I'm talking about. So that could be coming from a previous search. Now I put it inside a dictionary, so I don't have to rebuild it. I can take it and make another search based on it. That is a constant at this time. Okay. All right, so now we know how to create a dictionary. Okay, now we can use the keys as the index. And yeah, so we just practice that. All right, now, as we mentioned before, we can have, we can start, I mean, we need to build a dictionary programmatically, okay? So, and we usually start by creating an empty dictionary and then having a loop to populate it. So in order to create an empty dictionary, we can use you can use the constructor just like we did with a set, but we can also use the curly brackets, the empty curly brackets. Okay, now empty curly brackets mean dictionary, not a set. So again, we can build it in two ways. We can populate a dictionary in two different ways, either use the comprehension syntax or use the longer form, the loop. Okay, so let's say we want to build a dictionary that maps a number to its double. Okay, so let's do them both ways in order to compare. So I'm just gonna open VS Code. Okay, so let me just open one of these here. Oh no, sorry. So I'm just gonna start a new folder altogether. So I'm gonna open a folder and I'm gonna go to a place that is easy to find and a new folder. So let's say dictionary example. Okay, and inside I'm going to create a Python file. So new file. So let's say example.py. All right. So now I want to build a dictionary that is maps a number to its double. Okay. So first of all, we need the dictionary to use to accumulate, right? So num to double equal. I can use the empty brackets here. Now let's say we want the first 10 numbers to be mapped. So if we want the 10 to be included, so we need to loop over a range from where to where? 1 to 11, because I want the 10 to be included. Okay, and in the column. Now I want to add the values one by one to the dictionary. Now see how we add a new value to a dictionary that doesn't exist. If I try to refer to a key that doesn't exist, it will write it and then assign the value to it. Okay, so right now it's empty, right? So I'm gonna refer to something with key num. Obviously, that doesn't exist, right? So when I try to refer to something that doesn't exist and write to it, or assign it to a value, then it will add the key and the value. Now, if I try to read a value with a key that doesn't exist, it doesn't do that. It will give me an error that this key doesn't exist. Okay, so it would add it if I'm just trying to write. If I'm trying to read, it will not add it. Okay. All right, now let's try to print it. Let's print it all together and see how does it look like. So you see, when I printed as one object, so I sent the entire dictionary to the print function, it printed it like this. So 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 3 to 6, and so on. Yes. Here? So this should be the end. We use this as the index, right? Yeah. So you put the key inside the square bracket. Now, if the key doesn't exist and I'm trying to write, like here, I'm using the assignment operator to try to write. When the key doesn't exist, it will add it. Okay. Now, how about this? We can debug it and see it one by one.